Hello and welcome everyone. This is your host, DrPND, and today we are going to do another podcast. Should be a lot shorter. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start doing those podcasts that hopefully are 20 to 30 minutes, at best in length. For the purpose of just respecting people's times and just really giving more of a bottom line, applicable, real information that I have and I have access to my practice. So the goal will be to kind of really give you a quick and easy aspects of natural health, so you guys can understand them and be able to apply them directly to your lifestyle, without going into a lot of depth of the whys and hows, and a lot of technical aspects, including scientific jargon and so forth. So that will be the goal, starting with this podcast. So today we are going to talk about magnesium. Now, before you guys say that magnesium has been drilled to death, it is true. It has been. I can imagine how many thousands of videos and podcasts on YouTube there are about magnesium. It is very important. You guys know that. There is no reason to repeat what magnesium is and does and why it's important. Okay, you guys know it's important. But today, what I want to talk about is what are the uses for the different types of magnesium. Because the most common question that I get from my clients, friends, family, people that I come across is they always ask me, what is the best form of magnesium, and what form of magnesium is used best for what conditions, what situations, and so forth. And there's a lot of confusion. A lot of folks don't really know also that there's different forms of magnesium, or if they do, they probably kind of know one or two or three maybe at best. So the goal is to kind of educate you really what is the bottom line of the use of different forms of magnesiums and how you can apply them. So with that being said, a quick recap. Obviously, magnesium is definitely, it's a macromineral. It's not a micro, but macromineral. That means it's used by the body by very large amounts. The last 40 years or so, there literally has been thousands of studies and research documents that have published, the importance of magnesium in the human physiology, how it's a very crucial macronutrient, and how it supports at least more than 300 plus functions in the body that we know of, at least. So things like blood sugar balance, optimal circulation and blood pressure, cellular energy production, pain relief and relaxation of muscles, calms the nervous system down, is important for bone density and calcium balance and absorption, joint and ligament flexibility and strength, sleeping patterns, and many more functions. So what are the different forms of magnesium and what are they really used for? Well, let's go ahead and start with the topical magnesium, which that's usually comes in a form of what it looks like oil or a gel. And this is usually magnesium chloride, okay? These topical magnesiums are really very useful and work really well for the use of muscle relaxation with sore muscles, aching muscles, just inflamed, bruised muscle as well. So ultimately, magnesium chloride is topical and is best used for muscle relaxation, ultimately bringing muscular comfort. Okay. Additional highlights. Again, it's very easily applied to the skin. It does not leave an oily residue, dries up relatively fast. And this also features, if you have a good source of high quality, it's going to have the purest and most pristine source of natural magnesium salt in the world, which is going to come usually from what's called a genuine Zechstein Insight. It's a registered trademark magnesium. So you can massage that anywhere in your body. Obviously, don't get into any mucous membranes like your nose, your eyes, your ears, and other sensitive body parts. So topical magnesium, either gel or oil, like topical application, relaxation of the muscle. By the way, you can use other forms of magnesium for muscle relaxation and tension that you can combine with the topical, which can be used very well synergistically, orally, ingested, and as well as topically. The other form of magnesium that we're going to talk about is used quite a bit in clinical practice in people like me with naturopaths and other holistic healthcare professionals is the form of L-threonate. So it's magnesium L-threonate. There's a very popular, very high quality brand called Magtein, 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 magnesium L-threonate. And this form is very, very good for sleep support, mood support, and ideal use for general cognitive function and brain health support. So it's a chelated formula type of magnesium. It transports magnesium across the blood-brain barrier very efficiently, very fast. So it can be a very useful strategy for anything brain health, cognitive related decline, like memory decline and so forth. So magnesium L-threonate is the form used for sleep and mood support and overall brain health. Okay. The next magnesium product that I use quite a bit is actually called TriMag Supreme. They have two formulas. They have TriMag Supreme and TriMag Supreme Night. Night is usually used for before bed, as the name suggests. But it's actually a really good blend, and there are other brands out there with this blend. And it has actually three different forms of magnesium. It has Orotate, Glycerophosphate, and TRAACS magnesium Bisglycinate Chelate. Okay, so that one is really a phenomenal powder formula, easily mixable, very easily absorbable, very easy on the tummy. And it can be really mixed well with smoothies, with shakes, just chase down water or juice, whatever it might be. And it's really, really good across the board for a lot of things. So you can use it as for muscle relaxation, energy, ATP production, cellular, cardiovascular health, blood sugar support, bone health. And thus ideal use is really good for actually blood pressure support. Okay. Chelated formula comes in a citrus flavor and is only sweetened with citric acid and monk fruit. That's it. It's very natural, very good, no artificial sweeteners or anything like that. And is very unlikely also to cause any kind of gastrointestinal side effects, such as bloating, gas, and loose stool, which some forms of magnesium do, even some of the better ones. I like the formula because it's very easily usable. It can be given to children or adults who cannot swallow pills or capsules. Mixes very easily, and you can load it at very high doses and high frequency throughout the day, depending on what you're trying to achieve. The beauty of the magnesium is that it really is very hard, really impossible to really overdose. If you have overdone a good quality supplement of magnesium, when you actually use it and you load it and you get a loose stool. At that point, you just need to back off by 100 to 200 milligrams per day of the total usage to be able to, until you get back to a normal or not as loose of a stool, depending on what it is. Because when you get a loose stool, ultimately you have what it's telling your body, saying that you just have too much. Okay, then your body's really not using it. That is a very good formula. Is again very friendly and really does a phenomenal job. The same formula with the night version of it, it just has a few herbs in there, like chamomile and valerian root and a few others that really, in everything else in addition, help with restful sleep. And again, it's really also good for controlling uric acid, along with other specific formulas. But again, it's a chelated formula, and they have added tart cherry powder extract, California poppy, and lavender, and that is again sweetened with just natural lemon flavor and stevia, and really again is very useful in the application of the before mentioned. But this one also really helps with sleep support and mood support too. So if you're looking for restful sleep, one of the easiest ways and the fastest way to get that is through the TRAACS Supreme Night, because you don't have to take as much and as often throughout the day. A lot of times people take just a dose or dose and a half to 2 doses right before sleep, and that really makes a difference. If there's a lot of stress during the day or stressful events, some people actually take it during the day, like before a stressful meeting or after a stressful meeting, just to calm the central nervous system down and to relax them. So a great product that I use, and those 3 forms, again, is the Orotate, the Glycerophosphate, and the TRAACS Bisglycinate Chelate. All 3 of those are in that form, and they work really, really, really well. Moving forward, some of the other forms of magnesium that we have, a popular one is the magnesium citrate, okay? So this is really good for muscle relaxation, energy production, sleep also, and mood support, but also is very good and very gentle for use for occasional constipation or for generally hardened stools, that someone doesn't need to take a laxative, or something, even a natural laxative that can be more aggressive, but something a lot, milder, that it can just kind of help them flow. So good formula if you had a big night out in the town, drinking, eating foods that you're not supposed to, overeat, obviously, and then coming home, taking that and letting you sleep, relax, and then the next day help you move a lot better usually than being constipated. Because when you eat foods you're not supposed to, a lot of times that happens, and add alcohol to the day, which is dehydrating, that too can cause and contribute to constipation. So a good formula that, again, look for something that is only sweetened with stevia or monk fruit and does not have any kind of GMO products in there. It does come in capsules sometimes, but the powder, again, I found to be a lot easier, better tasting. And for most people, especially children and those that cannot swallow, the powders almost always work the best. So the next form of magnesium I want to talk about is a complex of magnesium glycinate. Okay, it's called Glycinate, Glycinate. That's a very popular form. A lot of people are beginning to recognize it and understand it. And the one I use is, again, from with the TRAACS brand. When I say TRAACS, it stands for TRAACS. It's a registered trademark of a company that specifically produces this very high quality, very pure product. And you want to look for supplement brands that have that in there. I use, among many others, is Designs for Health is usually the one that I use probably 70% of the time with my clients and ourselves, because just, the high quality they have and the broad spectrum of products that they have. But Designs for Health is one that has it. They use exclusively only brand patented manufacturers, and their ingredients are extremely clean and pure, and they're also titrated very, very accurately to the milligram, which it says on the bottle, which obviously is important. So the TRAACS Magnesium Bisglycinate Chelate is basically it's a combination of buffer form for magnesium bisglycinate chelate and magnesium oxide. Okay, and what this one is really good for is, again, muscle relaxation, energy production, cardiovascular health, blood pressure, blood sugar support, and bone health. So that form of magnesium, people always say, well, just for general health or just for general wellness, what should I take just to kind of cover my, all my ants? And I always take for overall health. This is definitely the magnesium glycinate complex from Designs for Health is definitely hands down the most comprehensive and best formula for your overall use for overall daily health. You can obviously use other brands, again, just really make sure that there's no artificial preservatives, additives, sweeteners. The capsules are pure from natural vegetable source. There's no titanium dioxide or any kind of food colorings or anti-caking agents that a lot of brands will put in there. But as long as it has the TRAACS in there, you're guaranteed that pretty much you are going to get a good quality formulation of that product. So overall health, magnesium glycinate complex, that'll definitely be the best one. Now, with the complex, from design called this has oxide in it. Magnesium oxide is a good form of magnesium for also constipation and just bowel regularity. Some people will combine the oxide and the citrate for additional benefit if they have a chronic constipation issues and do not want to revert to laxatives, or a lot of times they'll take it in addition to laxatives, so they don't have to use a lot. That's a good one. Now, if you want if you don't have any issues with, GI issues, especially, going to the bathroom and you're flowing well, there's no, constipation of any kind, even mild, then I'll just take the magnesium bisglycinate, glycinate chelate without the oxide. Okay. And that's going to, again, do the same thing, except just is not going to, have the bowel support. But regardless, usually has been my experience that most people can use to flow better. And, especially when I have chronic stress and to have any kind of constipation tendencies, the magnesium glycinate complex from Design Health is definitely going to be the overall best choice. That also comes in powder form. So again, for people who cannot swallow capsules and pills and soft gels, the powder is very efficient because, again, you can mix it at very high doses. You can take that throughout the day. Shakes, smoothies, beverages is very easily mixable in there. And if it's flavored, especially, sweetened with natural and not artificial sweeteners, it can pretty much mix literally anything and you'll never taste it. By itself, it does not taste the best. If you ever tasted a glycinate form of magnesium, it's pretty bitter. So the other form of magnesium that we're going to talk about is going to be the malate form. That's M-A-L-A-T-E. So magnesium malate. Okay. This one is really good for, again, muscle relaxation, ATP energy production, cardiovascular health, blood sugar support, bone health. And this one is also overuse. Ideal use is used for muscle recovery, especially from strenuous exercises. Things like, if you're doing triathlons, if you're doing ultramarathon running, if you're doing CrossFit, or obviously a very intense strength training session like Olympic lifting, powerlifting, strongman, or any of those. But in my practice, I use that in conjunction with the glycinate complex for adrenal fatigue and adrenal support. The malate form is very, very good to use in conjunction either with the Trimex Supreme or the glycinate complex to be able to address adrenal fatigue and a lot of CNS overstimulation and basically sympathetic dominance of the central nervous system, which a lot of people have due to chronic stress. Now, don't misunderstand. I don't use the malate and the glycinate to treat adrenal fatigue or adrenal insufficiency. That is just a very good product that is part of a broad spectrum protocol for those issues. But when somebody is dealing with, adrenal fatigue, the malate is definitely a go-to for me, along with the glycinate. It's used in conjunction. The ratios are different. The dosage is different depending on the person, but the malate, again, is a very easily absorbable form. It's a very benign form, so you can dose it easily in, the 700 to 1,000 plus milligrams per a day, along with the magnesium glycinate. And just remember, everybody's got a different need, different tolerance. People always ask, how much magnesium do I need? Nobody can tell you that. Even if you actually test it with hair mineral analysis and a blood panel, looking at the red blood cell magnesium, you still are not going to be able to see exactly what you need. It's different for everybody because a lot of times the symptomology will not align. So it's not just what you need based on your levels, but also is what is it that you're doing throughout the day that is increasing the burn rate of magnesium. It's called magnesium burn rate. That basically is how fast your body burns through or utilizes magnesium. So if you consume alcohol, your magnesium burn rate is going to drastically increase. If you have chronic stress and anxiety, drastic increase. Stress and extra stress also can be from exercise, and over-exercising will increase the magnesium utilization rate. neurodegenerative issues, mental health problems such as, bipolar, schizophrenia, if you suffer from anxiety disorder, panic attack disorder, all those things are going to definitely drastically increase the need for magnesium. A lot of times those things can easily be exacerbated by default from being deficient in the first place. Also, if you drink a lot of caffeine, so a lot of people drink caffeine throughout the day. They'll hit a CrossFit workout from a stressful day, come home, eat with a glass of wine, beer, or even worse, some kind of hard liquor. Well, your magnesium burn rate is going to go through the roof just by default. Certain medications increase magnesium utilization and need. And that also is going to depend on your genetics and depend on your own metabolism of, how fast he uses that. So it's it's always wise to a little take more than not take more, because as I said before, you really cannot overdose of magnesium. When you apply it orally or topically, orally, you're going to get just a loose stool, basically diarrhea of some form or another, just a looser stool that you're used to. And then that you had more than you really need. And then at that point, you back off. So a lot of times, generally speaking, and this is just a general statement, I'll usually start people at anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of combined magnesium per day. And then I'll start titrating this up every 3 days by 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams sometimes. It all depends on their symptomology and feedback. But it's almost always people need more than less, at least for a while. So this is just like a quick FYI. So these are the forms of magnesium that are really useful and really clinically have been used and are being used with great success for addressing different issues and just supporting the overall health of the body. Whether it be mood, sleep support, bone health, just on overall health. So make sure that again, you are getting a high quality supplement from a reputable company. People always ask, again, why do you always use supplements that are expensive? And I always tell them this: it's you are going to pay for quality. Quality costs. Almost always in any industry, you are going to pay for quality. When it comes to supplements, I want to remind everybody again, currently they are really not regulated by the FDA. They have a very loose regulation. Anybody can sell supplements within reason. And there's two main issues. One of them, are they in a pure high quality form, free of contaminants, free of byproducts, obviously free of artificial sweeteners, colorings, preservatives, anti-caking agents. How have they been stored? How have they been packaged? How have they been shipped? And ultimately, the second and very important aspect is, do they contain the dosing that is on the label? So if a serving, for example, of say magnesium malate is 2 capsules per serving, and they should deliver 360 milligrams total of magnesium, okay, then you better contain that. If it's 10 or 20 milligrams under over, not a big deal so much, but a lot of supplements might only contain 200 milligrams. For most of the time, that really won't matter. But if somebody's really struggling and they really need proper dosing, especially high doses, if say they need 2,000 milligrams of malate a day, well, that's how many capsules are you taking? If every capsule or every serving of 2 capsules is 160 milligrams short, then by the time you have like 5-6 servings a day, do the math. It's massive deficiency in dosing protocol. And then people wonder a lot of times, well, how come I don't feel anything, or how come I don't get any results? Because that's why. As of 2019, the last census that I at least paid attention to, there were over 54,000 brands. I said supplements, I said 1,000 brands of supplements worldwide. And a lot of those, guess what, they're manufactured in places like Manila, Philippines, and China. And let's not talk about quality, because I don't have to, okay? And with that being said, the regulation is very, very low and inadequate. So it is important for you to buy and consume supplements that are of high quality and purity, and the dosing is correct. You'll be better off buying from a reputable high-end clinical grade company. Clinical grade means that these supplement brands are used by clinicians, physicians, doctors, whether naturopaths, medical doctors, integrative doctors, functional medical doctors, doesn't matter. These are people that, practitioners, they use those supplements in their clinical setting to help their patients, their clients, whatever it might be, to get better, because dosing and quality matter. So you're better off taking half a dose every other day of a very high quality pure supplement than risk of taking some cheap alternative on Amazon or whatever it might be, that at best, has some kind of quality of purity and maybe half a dose, because nobody overdoses supplements. That I can promise. You don't have a risk of having an issue of overdosing magnesium, but you will have an issue of underdosing. So anyway, this is just a little side note. The people that always ask about, price of supplements and so forth. But anyway, this is, today's podcast was, the goal is just that, is to talk about the magnesium, the support of health with magnesium supplements, and the different forms of magnesium that are present. So to recap real quick, we have magnesium citrate, we have the magnesium glycinate complex, which is a combination of the Bisglycinate Chelate and Oxide. We have the magnesium chelate by itself. We have the magnesium malate. We have the magnesium L-threonate, the Glycerophosphate, Orotate with the biglycinate mix. And we also have the topical magnesium chloride. I do not use magnesium oxide, just milk magnesia, as it is not well absorbed, and it is not good, honestly, generally speaking, aside from having a really potent laxative effect. That's why people usually get cleaned out before a colonoscopy. One of the things that the physician will have them drink, part of their protocol the day before, is the magnesium oxide or milk of magnesia, to be able to initiate that purgatory response of the colon, to be able to get cleaned out for the procedure the next day. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope that was good information for you. And remember, we're going to keep doing those. They're going to try to get them as short as possible, because I do value everybody's time. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, please reach out to us and ask us anything that we can help. We'll gladly do so. Go to DrPND, that is DrPND spelled out, .com. Contact us, call us, email us, text us, and we'll love to hear from you and talk to you. So until next time, which we are going to do on probiotics, and that'll be exciting. And hopefully next week or the week after, I'll be able to get that podcast out, and we'll have fun with that. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a phenomenal time. Stay healthy and well, and we'll see you next time.